Now, directly delving into the subject of psychiatric disorders. The psychiatric disorders in olden days, when we were studying in earlier days, the classification was quite simple. Like they could be categorized into two categories: neurosis and psychosis. Neurosis is generally considered as a minor illness where a person is aware that he has a illness, whereas a psychosis is that condition where the person doesn't know that he has illness but has the illness. And then of course we will have the subcategories like anxiety disorders and so on. But the present day's method of diagnosis is depending upon the DSM model. DSM is a diagnostic statistical manual of mental disorders published by American Psychiatric Association. And under this, the psychiatric conditions are grouped or categorized under these heads: neurodevelopmental disorders, schizophrenia, and so on. So the whole detail is not an important issue, but we have to be aware that the method of diagnosis and grouping these disorders are of this category. From the present regular clinical practice point of view, it's not necessary that we will be seeing all these varieties of the cases, but we will be seeing a majority of these conditions in the clinical practice and how we can plan. And I just would present how I deal with these issues in the clinical practice. Of course, the diagnosis are the standard protocol of diagnosing of psychiatric disorders is also mentioned in ICD coding. The issue is ICD coding classification is significantly different from the DSM classification. DSM classification is totally different. ICD coding is totally different. So when it comes to the question of legal issues, we will be having some confusing areas or gray areas, whether it has to be ICD-10 following or DSM-5 to be followed as such. But popularly in psychiatric disorders, DSM-5 coding is generally followed as such. That's one thing. Now, from Ayurvedic point of view, that's about the current issues which we need to be sensitized but not related to the Ayurvedic. Now, coming to the Ayurvedic point of view, how the mental illness is assessed from Ayurvedic point of view. Ayurvedic approach to the mental illness is based upon the doshas. Rajas and tamas are considered to be the doshas which affect the mind or manas compared to or as we have vata, pitta, kapha for the body. And the general rule is to manage a manasa roga, jnana, vijnana, dhairya, smriti, samadhi. A sort where the person is made to be aware, where non-pharmacological intervention is suggested. In case of the important issue is in case of a mental illness, Ayurveda doesn't mention about a pharmacological or a drug intervention in general, but in general it has to be only a sort of non-pharmacological. No drug is to be given, where you have to make the patient aware of the surroundings. Jnana, knowledge has to be given. Dhairya, consolation, or what we call as counseling, or samadhi, something like meditation can be given. This should not be confused with the Daiva Vyapashraya Chikitsa. Daiva Vyapashraya Chikitsa is a part of a treatment for the Sharira Vyadhi. So many times there is a confusion or general feeling is the Daiva Vyapashraya Chikitsa or something which is related to the practice of devotion, worshipping and so on. They are generally considered as a sort of psychiatric treatment, but Ayurveda doesn't accept that as a psychiatric treatment. But the basic issue of psychiatric treatment is about a counseling. It's a sort of counseling where you will be making two approaches, the philosophical approach as well as a personalized approach. I will come to that part also, the philosophical counseling and the other way later. Now, in general, for having a healthy mind, all that we see is what we have to do is Veganam Abhidharanam. So, the Vega Dharana has to be avoided. That's a general principle of maintaining of a proper health for both mind and the body. And Ayusham Bhojana, the food should be of good quality. There is a direct relationship between the food and the mind. Rajasa and Tamasa Aharas are classified. So if you take Rajasa and Tamasa Ahara, it will be directly affecting the mind. So mental health is directly related to the food. It's also directly related to the lifestyle, where the Vega Vidharana also has a impact upon the mind. And Brahmacharyam Ahimsa cha. A Brahmacharya is a perceiving the knowledge. Ahimsa, not hurting others. Sahasanam cha vardhanam. Never go beyond your capacity. These are the basic dictums which are suggested to maintain the proper mental health asset. The mental disorders could occur. The causes of the mental disorders, as mentioned in Charaka, is bhaya, shoka, krodha, lobha, moha, mana, irsha, etc. Strong emotions, different sorts of strong emotions, they are the causes of manasa vyadhi, and they are the mithya yoga for the manas. Or it could be abhidroha, anrutavachana. You may be just harming others or lying. These also are the causes of the manasika vyadhi, like chinta, udvegadaya, pravruttaha. Now, then there is another controversial issue. In the present day's condition, one of the very popular word used is psychosomatic disorders. So, in general, there is one view, and very popular view, like a psychiatric disorder in due course of time becomes somatized, and then it results in a physical illness. But the other way, a physical illness resulting in a psychiatric illness is not really an established fact in the contemporary system, though it's often known that every patient having a physical illness would have some impact on the mind, and majority of the prescriptions which we see in the clinical practice would have either a anxiolytic or a antidepressant or a sedative as the prescription, and that becomes one of the clinical issues in the practical clinical conditions when we deal with. Whereas from Ayurvedic point of view, the basic idea is, in general, the majority of the conditions, but Charaka says is Sharira Jayate Purvam Dehe. So initially it is the Sharira Vyadhi, and then later it may result in the Manasika Vyadhi. It's the other way. A somatic illness can result in a Manasika illness, or a physical illness can also be presented with psychiatric symptoms, like in case of the Jwara. Particularly, the Jwara could be presented due to Manasascha Balabalat, a psychiatric condition like the abnormality related to the Manas. Now, Charaka has given a specific word. A weakness of the mind can result in the Jwara in due course of time. Kalam arthavashat kaiva manasascha balabalat jwara tam prapadyate. So, Jwara can be produced, a disease like a Jwara can be produced due to a weak mind also. This is a basic Ayurvedic concept. Or there are many such examples which are mentioned in the text about the diseases which are produced either or which are closely interrelated between the mind and the body. Ativa chinchanattiva shokat krodhat bhayatada, it can result in diseases like kshaya, irsha, utkanta, mada, udvegan sada vishati yonaraha, krishas sevate ruksham annapanam tudaushadam. This can result in the dhatu kshaya. Dhatu kshaya can be produced due to the aberrations of the mental activity. It could be like ativa chintanata, too much of worrying, or shoka, as the sad situations, krodha, anger, and so on. So, psychological conditions resulting in a physical illness is established in Ayurveda. The other way, illness, physical illness resulting in psychiatric illness also are considered to be the cause. And in general, when it comes to the question of the proper health, a healthy body or in general health is to be depending on healthy thoughts and attitudes along with all the other physical activities. So when the causes of the diseases are mentioned, in general, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Irsha, Hri, Shoka, Mana, Udvega, Bhaya, Upa, Manasa, Yadan, Annam, Annapanam, Upayajate, Tadapi, Amam, Evadushayati. It's one of the causes of the Ama. When you take the food with all that emotions around, without proper having the normal health as such, then it can result in ama, and ama is considered to be the cause of all the diseases. So a psychological health or healthy thoughts and attitudes are to be considered as the primary base of the health asset. So Prajnaparadha, which is considered to be the most important cause for all the diseases, is directly related to the mind, and hence to maintain a proper health, the clue given by Ayurveda is Tyagat Prajnaparadhana, Indriya Upashamah Smriti. So Prajnaparadha has to be avoided, and you need to regulate the sensory organs of the body and control them. Indriya Upashamah Smriti, you need to keep in mind about the whole social conditions and be aware of the Desha Kala Atma Vijnanam and Sadruptasya Anavartanam. That's about the basic secret of the health. So health is dependent on the status of the mind. So importance of the mind is very much highlighted, and at times it is presented as if it's much more important than the body to have the health asset. Now, a strong healthy person would have to have that strong healthy mind. You need to have a healthy body also, a strong body also. Shukpipasa, Ayasa, Shrama, Shita, Ushna, Vata, Varsha, Sukha, Dukkha, Sansvarsha, Sahatva. Ability to tolerate all these variations of the surroundings, like excess of thirst or the hunger or exercise tolerance, all these are related to the healthy body as such, the healthy mind as such. So only when you have the healthy mind, you can have the healthy body, as well as having a healthy mind also is a cause for the margaha apavargaya. At the end, to have the salvation for the whole life, you need to have a healthy mind. That's the important issue. Anyway, that's about the theory portion about the mind and mental disorders as per the text as such.